Today, we're diving into a major new government policy, one that could literally reshape the future for Bangladesh. It's this incredibly ambitious plan to manage its huge maritime domain, and, it all kicks off with a pretty shocking admission. I mean, get this, right in the official cover letter, they use this kind of language. This is not your typical government speak. The government itself is calling its own plan a desperate attempt to pass an international audit. That one phrase just tells you everything you need to know. This policy was born out of pure, urgent necessity. And that really begs the question, right? Why the desperation? Why now? To really understand the solution this new policy is trying to be, you first have to get your head around the massive scale of what's at stake for Bangladesh out there in the Bay of Bengal. So let's look at why this is so critical. The numbers here really tell the story. This isn't just about some lines on a map. We're talking about the absolute lifeblood of the nation's economy.
A whopping 90%, think about that, 90% of all of the country's trade by volume travels by sea. We're talking everything from the clothes they export around the world to the fuel they need to keep the lights on. If there's any problem on those sea lanes, the entire national economy feels it almost immediately.
And the space they have to manage is just huge. After settling border disputes with its neighbors, Bangladesh now controls this massive chunk of the ocean. It's full of potential. We're talking fish, natural gas, you name it. But it's also a gigantic territory to patrol and protect. It's an incredible opportunity for sure, but man, what a challenge. And connecting that vast ocean to the country is more than 700 kilometers of coastline. And this isn't just empty beach. This is where you find the major ports, fragile ecosystems like the world's biggest mangrove forest, and literally millions of people who depend on the sea to make a living every single day. So here's the problem the policy is trying to fix. The old way of managing all this stuff, it just wasn't working. As the document itself says, there was no single, all-encompassing national policy. Instead, you had all these different government agencies kind of doing their own thing, working in silos. This led to confusion, wasted money, and a total inability to deal with big problems like illegal fishing. This new policy is a fundamental shift away from that mess toward a single, coordinated national game plan. So if the old way was broken, what does this new grand strategy actually look like? Well, the whole thing is built around one central idea: unlocking the power of what they call the blue economy. Now, the blue economy isn't just about grabbing as many resources as you can. It's all about balance. The vision is twofold. First, drive economic growth and create jobs for people. But, and this is the crucial part, do it in a way that actually protects the ocean for the long haul. It's about finding that sweet spot between prosperity and sustainability. And this big vision gets broken down into some really clear goals. First, they want to seriously strengthen the rules and how they're enforced. Then, they're focused on making their ports and shipping more competitive globally. Of course, a huge piece is maritime safety and security. And they're making it a priority to minimize environmental damage, all while creating a system that makes private companies want to invest. It's a really comprehensive roadmap. Okay, so a great vision is one thing, but how do you actually make it happen on the ground? This is where we get to the nuts and bolts of the policy, the new command structure, and the action plan designed to turn all these ideas into reality. The absolute heart of this whole thing is a brand new command structure. They're creating something called the National Maritime Council, or the NMC. Think of it as the new headquarters, the central nervous system for everything maritime. Its entire job is to tear down those old silos and make sure every single government agency is finally reading from the same script. And here's what that coordination looks like in the real world. Under this new council, everyone has a clear job that fits into the bigger picture. The Navy is out there protecting the country's borders. The Coast Guard is the police on the water, going after smugglers and illegal fishing. The port authorities are focused on turning their ports into world-class hubs for trade. And the Department of Shipping makes sure all the rules and international standards are being met. They're not just separate agencies anymore. They're supposed to be a team. So, on paper, this sounds fantastic, right? A well-thought-out, ambitious plan. But, as we all know, a plan is only as good as its execution, and the road ahead is filled with challenges. When you boil it all down, the big takeaway is this. For the very first time, Bangladesh has a complete top-to-bottom roadmap for its maritime future. It tackles everything: trade, security, the environment, all of it. The vision is crystal clear, the plan is laid out, and the stakes, well, they couldn't be higher. And that really leaves us with the big final question. A policy, no matter how brilliant, is still just words on paper. Turning this incredible vision into a reality on the water is going to take a ton of political will, a lot of money, and some serious coordination. The plan is there, but now the real work has to begin.